Bro, what the? Look inverted. Okay, yeah, good morning, everybody. I mean, good afternoon. We're watching the Patriot Preaches. I'm back. I'm in San Diego right now, visiting my friend. And I look weird on the camera because I'm inverted. So it's like I'm seeing like my asymmetries. It's like this side of my hair is like just it's fucked up. But uh yeah, I mean today we're gonna be giving I'm gonna be giving you guys a couple of updates on what's been happening in Venezuela. I mean, we talked about what's happening in the South American countries, like what I think October 30th, and then I didn't follow up on Halloween night because I wasn't at home. So I decided today I'm just gonna give you guys a little brief rundown of what's been happening and if we're gonna attack Venezuela or not, and then we can talk a little bit about the New York election, about Mamdani Kumo. Yeah, I'm just really tired right now, so I'm not going to be as lively. But yeah, I mean, we'll get into the first story. First story is about Hegseth declining to address whether the U.S. is going to bomb Venezuela or not. And if you know who Pete Hegseth is, he's the Secretary of War for the United States in the GOP. And on Saturday, he declined to comment on whether the U.S. was planning to bomb Venezuela amid a major U.S. military buildup in the Caribbean and frequent strikes on alleged narco drug traffickers in the waters of Latin America. If I'm gonna quote him right here. He said, "I appreciate the question, but of course we would not share any amount of operational details about what may or may not happen." Hegseth said in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, when asked if the U.S. was preparing to strike inside Venezuela. And then on Friday, the U.S. had made a decision to attack military targets inside Venezuela as a part of a campaign against the government of President Nicolas Maduro, whom the U.S. seeks to oust. And this is kind of a psychological warfare perpetuated on, what do you call it, Maduro, because Venezuela is lining up with our adversaries like Iran, Russia, China, exporting oil, allowing China to create dual infrastructure like naval imports, um, trading oil, because Venezuela does have the largest oil reserves, crude oil reserves, second largest, I'm pretty sure. And it's what we process, right? So the report said that the U.S. strikes could begin within a matter of hours or days, but Trump claimed that he was not considering bombing Venezuela. Um, oh my God, bro, why is my hair messed up? Yo, who's watching? Hey, type in the chat if you're watching. I think Vinod is watching right now, so you can. He wanted to type poggers and he wanted to spam emojis. You can spam W's in the chat, or you can spam L's. But going back to the story, when asked by reporters if he was planning strikes inside Venezuela, Trump said no, though he has previously suggested that the U.S. may begin bombing alleged drug shipments inside the country by land. And then Marco Rubio, he also is leading the push towards regime change in Venezuela, which is what I talked about on October 30th, because the United States want control of the Western Hemisphere. They want control of all the Southern American countries. Even though Venezuela is not even that important, it's because China is trying to take over and perpetuate political influence, military influence, and just a lot of power projection. Plus, they don't ideologically align with us, right? They have a socialist regime government, Venezuela, and we need to overthrow it. And this is what we've always done. We've always perpetuated regime change under a false pretext, just like Iran, just like when we attacked the Middle East, Afghanistan. It's always smoke screened under a you know, a lie, basically. That's what it is. But for weeks, multiple media outlets have been reporting that the U.S. is considering launching strikes in Venezuela. And the U.S. has built up a force in the region that's well beyond what's needed to bomb small defenseless boats. I mean, these boats aren't even that big. They're like small boats, like, in the Titanic, like those type of boats, like the boats like refugees take to like get to a new country. So, I mean, the U.S. officials have made clear that the real goal of the campaign is regime change. And it's something that the neoconservatives like Rubio has wanted for many years. The U.S. aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald Ford, is being deployed to the Caribbean currently, and the U.S. has begun to run weekly bomber flights near the coast of Venezuela. And much of the military action and the leaks to the media are a part of a psychological campaign, which is what I said, aimed at getting Maduro to voluntarily step down or someone in his inner circle to turn on him, but which is very unlikely to happen. And then our second story is about the United States bombing the 16th alleged drug boat in Latin America. Apparently, the U.S. has bombed another alleged drug running boat in the waters of Latin America, Hegseth has also stated on Saturday. And specifically, the vessel was targeted in the Caribbean, and as usual, he provided no evidence to back up his claims about what the boat was carrying. He said that the bombing killed 3 narco terrorists, a term the Trump admin is using to justify extrajudicial killings, executions at sea for an alleged crime that doesn't receive the death penalty in the US. And the attack brings the total number of boats the US has bombed since September 2nd to 16th, and the total number of people killed in the campaign to 64, right? Because if you remember, before it was about like 34, it was about half, and now it's doubled. And Trump is using this narco terrorism as a justification for the killing, as we all know, right? According to the numbers released by Trump, 9 boats have been hit in the Caribbean and 7 were targeted in the Eastern Pacific. While the Trump administration has claimed the boats have been targeted, we're attempting to bring drugs to the US. But this is not the case because it's highly unlikely because most of the drugs that are manufactured do not come from Venezuela, they come from Mexico and Colombia. So it really doesn't make sense, right? It's not about drugs, it's about regime change. It's about power. It's what it's always been about. It's about the realist theory, right? And which is what we live by. The United States, we swing our dicks around. And we think we're the shit, but now we're starting to realize that we're really not that big of a superpower as we once were, right? And this is kind of what Vinod was talking about. I was talking to him about this the other day, right? But Trump officials have also framed the bombing campaign as a response to fentanyl-related deaths in the U.S., but the U.S. official speaking to Drop site also noted that little to no of the fentanyl in the U.S. comes from Venezuela. See, even they know it. Where most of the boats targeted in the Caribbean have come from, right? The latest U.S. strike on a boat comes amid growing criticism of the military campaign in Congress over the lack of transparency and information. The Pentagon has also admitted to Democratic lawmakers in a briefing that doesn't know the identity of the people that it has been killing. Hegseth has also included in the bombing campaign in a list of topics military officials aren't allowed to discuss with Congress without first receiving authorization from the War Department. Okay. So that's the second story. Right? It's pretty interesting. I don't know if we will. I'm not sure. Good stream. Yeah. Bro, this is Lukia. Yo, but no. Benny's Poggies. Nice. So I think the last little brief story is probably Mamdani. Let me check it's my phone. Let me see. Oh. a sec. Give me a second. All right. Yeah. So New York City's candidates for mayor, Mamdani's fanned out across the city on Sunday, delivering closing messages at churches and rallies and urging supporters to cast their ballots on the last day of early voting before Election Day. Zoran Mamdani, the Democratic nominee and frontrunner, former governor Andrew M. Cuomo, who's running as an independent, started their days with appeals to black voters on separate calls with the morning radio show. Just before noon, Curtis Stilwell, the Republican nominee, campaigned through Brighton Beach, his second stop of the day in Brooklyn. And he stated that it's important to vote even if you don't vote for me. And all three of these candidates have packed schedules and are contending with the masses of people running in another contest, the New York City Marathon. They briefly intersected on Sunday afternoon when Mr. Mamdani, who ran the event in 2022 and 2024, cheered on runners during a campaign stop in Greenpoint in Brooklyn. Along the marathon route, some spectators held up signs that referenced the candidates and campaigns. Early voting began on October 25th, and about 584,000 voters had submitted ballots as of Saturday night. And these were far more than that were cast at the same point in the last mayoral race in 2021. On Saturday alone, about 104 people voted early, the most of any day since the polls opened. Through voting behavior has shifted in recent years, the large turnout reflected New Yorkers' heightened interest in race and demographics, in which Mr. Mamdani emerged as the frontrunner after a shocking win over Mr. Cuomo in the June Democratic primary. And one of the main reasons why he won was his denial to take foreign money, right? And this is like kind of a rising topic. APAC, a lot of people are against it because they're not registered under FARA. I don't think they are, and it's just influencing our foreign policy in a dramatic way, which is what a lot of Americans are waking up, and they're not opposed, and they're very opposed to it. So Mamdani, being a smart guy, is using that to his advantage, and is winning the people of New York over, regardless of his party affiliation. He's catering to all the people, which is what we like, right? But a lot of people have their prejudices against Indians, Muslims, and it's not a lot of the people don't represent my people, Indians, in the best way, right? I mean, they take a lot of things out of context. I mean, Zoran Mamdani eating with his hands. You eat burgers in America. You eat burgers with your hands. You eat fries with your hands. You eat a lot of food with your hands. Mexicans eat tacos with their hands. Nigerians eat fufu with their hands. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. So I don't know how you can make fun of someone for eating with their hands when that's what American culture is like. The staple is a burger. You eat that with your hands. You eat a sandwich with your hands. You eat a turkey provolone sandwich with your hands like this. But when we eat rice, on a leaf with our hands, it's seen as dirty. But obviously, you wash your hands before you eat. That's normal. And then what's another one? They like to make fun of. There's this one village in India. They do this like cow poop throwing thing, and I'm disassociating with myself with that. Like that's just one village. A lot of people don't like every single Indian I know. We disavow that. We do not do that stuff, dude. That's just weird, right? And I think a lot of religions have cultures have weird things that are not updated, right? And this is kind of the thing to say that American culture has been getting patch notes Right, the Christian religion, the Bible, their Bible has been changed to like a lot. Like, let's be honest, the Quran, the Bhagavad Gita, they haven't been changed. So there's back in the day, stuff that was normal back then is not normal. It's not going to be normal now. So yeah, I mean, you have to take that into account when you look at things. And a lot of people don't represent their religion properly. I know a lot of Muslims. I know a lot of Hindus. I know a lot of Christians. The religion does not define the person doesn't define the religion. The book. If you read the book, all religions are pretty peaceful. If we're gonna be honest, just people that are not perfect. Right, I by no means am not perfect, but I try to portray my religion in the best light as best as possible. But this anti-Islam, the anti-Judaism. I mean, even the anti-Hinduism, it's getting out of hand. The anti-Christianity, and you can say that this country is based on Christian values. Even the guys who created the country were all different variations of Christians, but that doesn't mean that there is no separation of the church and state. Yeah, yeah. Let's just. I was looking back at Vinny doing laundry. He's doing laundry because my we were playing football at the beach, and I was trying to get I was a running back, and I'm trying to catch the ball, and then I fell face first in the water. So like I got soaking wet. Like my underwear was wet, my shorts were wet. I had salt water in my mouth, and then when I came home in the shower, I put it on full heat, steaming hot, and I was just in there for like 30, 40 minutes. And I was about to sleep, but then he's like, "Yo, get out, get out." I'm like, "All right, bro, get out." So yeah, that's what happened yesterday. But anyways, getting back to the Mamdani thing. I mean, yeah, this country's you could take it both ways. I mean, I see what these Christian nationalists are trying to do. They're trying to implement like religion, order, like a moral code. Makes sense. But like the demographics of this country is just it's not going to happen. Let's be honest. Like this isn't like the 1900s where it's like majority white. I mean, these guys want it to be majority white, but it's just like let's be progressive. Let's try to advance or let's try to incorporate all the cultures. Honestly, multiculturalism is good. Some ways, other ways it's not good. I mean, we can get into that another time. I'm just really tired right now, so I just chilling right now. But yeah, I think Mamdani's gonna be good. I think if he wins, we're gonna be. That's one step. That's a step in the right direction. I'm not too sure about his centralized shopping. What's it called? The supermarkets. That's something I need to look into more because I'm not into that. You know. Yeah. Yeah. First step. I mean, we want to get rid of that foreign influence, and then we can start working on other things. But I do want to do I want to do some more interesting things. I want to get into I want to start some debates. I mean, I want to do some debates on the show. I want to do like an hour debate, 1 hour debates, 2 hour debates with anyone. I mean, I'll do it on anything. I'll do a debate on immigration. We can do it on foreign policy, multiculturalism. We could do it on what else? What else? Economics, free trade. I'm a protectionist, so I mean, yeah, I'd argue with someone who advocates for free trade. I mean, if you're open to it, leave a comment or like just DM me on Instagram. Like if you know me and you see this video, just like DM me, be like, yo, you want to debate, respectful debate? Yeah, I'll be down. But yeah, other than that, I mean, hopefully Mamdani wins, and Yeah, I'm not a full Mamdani D rider, but I think he's better than Como. I'm taking him over Como for now. AOC though. AOC though, if you know, you know. But yeah. All right, I think that's it for today. I'm running out of energy. I just ate a grilled cheese, egg and ham sandwich. So I'm full. I'm like sleepy, and I've got to get home. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you watched, thanks to special shout out to Red Tiger King and Thomas for watching. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm gonna start streaming live at night now because I realized that nobody's awake in the morning. Literally, no one's awake in the morning. Like everyone just wakes up at like 12. So I'm gonna start going live at night. It's gonna be more interesting. There's gonna be a lot more people watching, I hope, and I'm gonna be a lot more interactive with the viewers. Hopefully, we can get a couple debates going in a couple weeks. So that'll be fun. Yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, should be live tomorrow night. But yeah, peace.